When Patrick arrived in this chapter, all he saw was a sign from the prophet named Daniel. Daniel told Patrick to play a game so he could meet each prophet. They would tell him a little bit about what prophets do. First he met Isaiah. He was one of the prophets who told the people the good news about the future. He was excited that a savior of the people was coming soon. Other prophets like Jeremiah told the people things they didn't want to hear. God's people were really messing up, and Jeremiah told them that God was not happy. So they didn't like him and dumped him down a well. Prophets like Hagler encouraged God's people to stay focused. He encouraged God's people to rebuild their temple after their enemies had torn it down. In the end of this section, Patrick had met all 17 prophets and heard their stories. He learned that these were the last books in this part of the Bible called the Old Testament. The prophet Daniel finally showed up to give him a reward for how he had visited all 39 books of the Old Testament. Patrick thought, from all these prophets in chapter 4, I have learned that God brings people into our lives to help us follow His plan. Then Patrick thought, maybe God has brought my piano teacher, Mrs. Marble, my baseball coach, Mr. Layton, and my Sunday school teachers, Mr. and Mrs. Eisner, into my life to keep me on track with God's plan for me. How about you? Who has God brought into your life to encourage you to follow His plan? See you in chapter 5.